I didn't want to have AQ on the show because I didn't want to put him in a position, but now that more and more people are talking about it, I think we should probably talk about it as well. Good friend of ours, AQ Shipley, great friend of ours, by the way. He's a hilarious individual, round mound of man, okay? A man who ended up playing, I think, 13 or 14 years in the NFL, went to Penn State, is Western Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic League Hall of Famer as a basketball player in high school, okay? He's a round body, short arms, man who's not supposed to be anywhere near where he is when it comes to putting a dent in the football world, has done all of us proud, to be honest with you. Done all of us proud. He is... was kind of forced into an early retirement due to an injury that occurred in the game against the Los Angeles Rams. I had a chance to talk to him the day afterwards, day after the game, and it was a different AQ Shipley. He was. It looked like, and I'm not going to say this. I guess I should. It looked like he had just got done potentially crying. Okay, now he wouldn't call me when he was crying, for obvious reasons, because, he's super macho, man. But as a human who has lived for 33 years, it appeared as if there was a chance that those eyeballs were spitting tears out of them moments before. He calls in. He basically told me about the entire thing. So they're reporting that it was a re-aggravated neck injury. And I'm not 100% sure if that's what it is. Whenever I talk to him, although he had experienced this type of feeling before, whenever he was at Baltimore, I believe, he got what was a stinger where his whole body basically went numb or whatever. And then a couple of days later, he ended up coming back. This particular time, whenever he got hit, there's a column, I guess, that's around your spine that got enclosed a little bit too close. On this one particular hit he got where he was kind of off balance and he got hit, and he said he lost feeling, all right, in his limbs or whatever. They go and get an MRI or a scan or whatever it was, and it turns out his column is too tight around the spine where he couldn't take another hit. And I guess we'll talk to AQ about this at some point. And I did ask him if I'm allowed to talk about this. He said, yeah, go ahead, because the news was already getting out there. The doctor was ruthless when he told him the news. AQ was not expecting the news from the doctor to be like, hey, you're not going to be able to play anymore. Which is basically what the doctor, and I don't know if it's because doctors just feel like, hey, if it's bad news, we just got to get right to it or whatever. But he said it kind of blindsided him a little bit to learn that he was going to have to retire because he couldn't take another hit ever again. And now I told him, hey, you shut out Aaron Donald right in your last game. That's got to feel pretty good. Maybe the best football player to ever play on the defensive side. You had a hell of a start. I think people saw that you could still do it. You still got it. And now you're going to probably go in a different direction here. He's going to try out coaching, I think, for a little bit. BA just told Pro Football Talk here for the last few weeks because he's already been in the building. He knows the facility. He knows the team. Maybe he'll get into coaching. Maybe he'll join us full time to do dumb stuff. Maybe he'll just become a great golfer. But he can't take another shot. They said that it could potentially be a big-time blow, obviously, to his life if he was taking another physical shot, maybe even, potential paralysis, I guess. So I let him know that, if he's ever got a problem with me, I'll leave his ass in a fucking wheelchair. That's what I say, immediately afterwards, So I think he was obviously in not great spirits, because football is the game he loves. Obviously, he's played it since he was a kid and everything like that. But now he's getting a chance, without his own decision being, to see the other side of it here. And we're happy he's okay. We're happy that he still has all his limbs. We're happy his family is growing and awesome. But that is quite a blow whenever you have to hear that from somebody when you weren't expecting it, I assume.
I mean, I can imagine. Think about any level. If you were a high school kid and you just thought you got hurt and you went in, you got an MRI, X-ray, and they tell you on the spot, hey, you're never going to play again. That would have a giant impact. That would be really tough to handle. Same thing college. Same thing 13, 14 years in the NFL when you're not expecting it. It's not something that you thought, hey, walking into this thing oh, this hurts. I hope I can get back on the field in a couple of weeks or something, to now you're done. See ya. You're going to be an assistant coach here next week. Wow, that's a lot to try to comprehend there, I think, right in the moment.
Guys also, I think, because he's gotten that stinger before, where he's felt that way before. He said, he's like, I'd experienced that before. And so it was scary. He said it was very scary because he couldn't feel his arms or couldn't feel his legs for a little bit. And there's some stingers, I guess, that really, they make people look as if you're knocked unconscious, basically, because your whole body just goes, and I don't know what it is. Is that a pinch, I guess? Is that what a stinger is? I'm sure you've had a couple. What are
I've never had a stinger, so honestly, I never really understood what happened.
So you've never had a concussion or a stinger?
What? Made of steel?
What is that? Play middle linebacker?
I've had tons of surgeries, but I'd never had a stinger.
So guys who get, I think it's like a pinched nerve maybe or something that happens somewhere, either in your neck or back.
Loose feeling, right?
But guys just completely, you see guys just go down. And there was guys maybe potentially taking advantage of stingers to the independent doctors that were supposed to come in for concussions. And, you know, a guy would obviously be concussed. No, they get up, they'd act like it was a stinger or whatever. Even when these players are just like damn near unconscious and they can't even like, they're still like, oh, make it look like it's your shoulder, like as they're jogging off so that they can't go off the games or whatever. But he had one of these before. So I think he was walking into the results of that thing with the mindset and the idea like, all right, how long am I out? Or can I get back in? Is there anything we could do? And then he's just all of a sudden like, yep, well, by the way, that kind of came out of nowhere. But he's a great friend for all of us. I'm very thankful that he's okay. I mean, that's very scary to hear that you're something on your spine is tightened on or whatever.
It's good they caught it. I mean, that's why they say, like, it's a good thing they caught it and they let him know that, because things like that, you know, if you don't catch it, hey, it ends up disastrous usually. And so that's why you have the doctors there. But going back to the concussion thing, first, did you see Matt Stafford smack the back of his head off that turf? How hard that was yesterday?
Oh, my God. That's a scary thing, right? Like,
worst, by far the worst, is the back of your head. And like, I thought, I was like, oh, he's not coming back in the game. But that dude's, he's not scared.
Hey, and that turf doesn't budge.
I was gonna say doesn't. Botch
Oh,
that.
I thought we were going to go does
I know,
not.
does not.
Yeah, because it's just longer.
Miscommunication.
Try it again. Do it again.
Hey, that turf
Does not budge.